Hello everybody, this is Johns Hopkins with Baltimore Heritage, and we're back with another of our 5-Minute Histories videos. And today I'm out on Park Heights Avenue in the Pikesville area. Behind me is Baltimore Hebrew Congregation. It is one in a cluster of fantastic modernist synagogues. That's what we're going to talk about today. If you're following along real time, you know we're sort of at the tail end of Hanukkah, and we thought we would help celebrate the holiday of lights in our own history way by talking about 5 of these wonderful synagogues out here. Have to start with a quick thanks to Isabel Gournay. Dr. Gournay is the one who suggested this topic and did the research for it and shared it. So thank you so much, Dr. Gournay. Before we jump into the 5 synagogues, which we'll talk about each one very briefly, let me just say a word in general. After World War II, a number of Jewish families began leaving the neighborhoods that they had called home for generations, like other Baltimore families, moving out to the suburbs. Many moved out here northwest of the city to the Pikesville area and built new synagogues. They were leaving their densely packed urban neighborhoods where a sense of community was fostered almost every day. You walked around, you bumped into your neighbors all over the place. And so they, when they came out here, they built not only synagogues, houses of worship, but also schools and rec centers and gyms and multi-purpose rooms as a way to help sort of create and reinforce a sense of Jewish community. And many of them did that in a wonderful modernist way, picking up on the style of architecture at the time. Modernism has its roots before World War II, but really got going in a big way, at least in America, after World War II, rejecting prior architecture styles, embracing of ornamentation, really going for a streamlined, sleek approach, using reinforced concrete and steel and glass as some of the primary tools there. So let's jump in. For the first synagogue, the one behind me, Baltimore Hebrew Congregation, it was the first in this cluster to move out here. The synagogue was completed in 1953, and when the congregation went to find an architect, they turned to one of the most renowned synagogue architects in the country, a gentleman named Percival Goodman. Goodman had designed synagogues from Miami to Albany, from Tulsa to St. Paul, really all over the place. And the architect, Goodman, designed a fantastically modernist synagogue out here. If you look at the front, it is this massive block of concrete, reinforced concrete and brick with 3 enormous vertical bays. On the inside, the artwork really mirrors the modernist period. There are 2 enormous murals, one of the burning bush and one called Promise of Peace. They're big and they're bright and they're abstract. It really, this building is a wonderful sort of full-scale modernist building. All right, we don't have too much time, so we're going to jump ahead, jump to our next one, Temple Oheb Shalom. It, of course, is the only synagogue designed by the noted modernist architect Walter Gropius. The front facade with its 4 large vaults really is just a signature modernist piece. Gropius called them, quote, a combination of the turbine with the torch. I guess we can see that. Along with the synagogue, Gropius designed a school connecting it to the synagogue with a wonderfully sleek glass connector. Inside, the artwork also embraces modernism. There are glass murals in the lobby and 3 monumental sculptural menorahs inside. Really wonderful thing. They're all still there. The one change that has happened since Gropius' design is the slope of the floor. Gropius designed the floor to slope downwards away from the front. So congregants would sit sort of looking upwards in a tilted back chair. This caused apparently all sorts of problems, including people leaving with cricks in their necks. So a number of years ago, the congregation flattened out the floor and I think reoriented the whole synagogue 180 degrees. All right, we're going to keep rolling here to the next synagogue in our 5 synagogue cluster, Beth El, also along Park Heights Avenue out here in the Pikesville area. It was completed in 1960. The architects there were a firm called Tyler, Ketchum, and Myers, and they took another creative modernist approach. The front combines a curve and a box, pretty simple shapes, the curve being the sanctuary and the box being the entrance. Form follows function, as the modernist architects would say. Above the door, there are wonderful abstracted Hebrew characters symbolizing creation, revelation, and redemption. And then on either side of the door are two enormous granite pylons, each with an abstracted menorah on the top. Again, just welcoming you to this new modernist building. Very, very future oriented, which seems like a perfect fit for congregations building in their new future out here in the Pikesville area. All right, fourth of our 5 synagogues, Chizuk Amuno. It was completed a little earlier, 1958, and its modernism comes out as really simple ornamentation, almost austere, along with its rhythmic groups of windows. It's another sort of modernist design technique. If you've ever driven along Stevenson Avenue, and part of it fronts onto Stevenson Avenue, you surely have seen the enormous abstracted artwork on the side wall there. The complex includes not just a synagogue, but a day school, an early childhood center, a religious school, all sorts of buildings there. And it was the first synagogue in the country to have a dedicated art gallery. That's pretty neat. All right, final synagogue, Beth Tafilo. It is a completely different expression of modernism. It's a round building with a conical roof. On top of that roof is an almost impossibly slender pole with the Star of David on top. It's made of red brick and dark steel and dark glass, very core modernist building materials. Inside, the sanctuary is glorious with, again, very modern light fixtures hanging from the rafters. Its complex also includes a school buildings, a chapel, multi-purpose spaces, again, helping to reinforce a sense of Jewish community out here. I am going to end by saying that if you celebrate Hanukkah, I wish you a happy Hanukkah. And if you don't, I wish you a happy holidays no matter how you celebrate.